right. Chris,
Brooke,
thank you so much for joining me today.
thanks for having me.
Okay, so I want to introduce you, and then I want to kind of set an agenda. Does that sound good?
Sounds great to me.
So first of all, this is Chris, and we have known each other for what, like 4 years?
About four and a half, yeah.
Yeah, so we met in EO when you owned a printing company, which you still own,
Yes,
Print Point, which I love, mainly
thank you.
because you guys are awesome at customer service and you deliver to my office, which I really enjoy, and you turn things around quickly. But you're not here for that today. You're here about River Refresh, right?
Correct.
So I do want you to talk about how you ended up doing this, and I think it might be part of that like serial entrepreneur thing that I find so often with, people in
It's
need.
the problem.
It's not a problem. It's just, I think that, but so River Refresh has a fabulous product, but you all had to totally change your business model, right?
Yes.
All right, so tell me a little bit more about you and how you ended up with these two companies and kind of that.
Yeah. So I own a printing company, like you said, and one day a guy came in my office needing some labels done, and he started telling me about the snake oil product that would cure everything, and it's non-toxic, and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. And to be honest, I just want to get him out of my office because he kept on going on and on and on. But at that time, I'd recently been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And I am on immunosuppressing drugs, and I also have 3 very small children. So really for me, every 4 to 6 weeks, I was getting a cold or a flu or a cold or a flu, and the product that he was talking about was hypochlorous acid, something that your body makes to fight infections and disease within your body. And
Wait,
like I said, he went on and sounded, I'm sorry, what was that?
your body makes this?
Your body makes it. Your white blood cells, one specific type of white blood cells, makes it, and that's what it uses to attack and kill bacteria or anything that finds foreign. So he gave me a bottle to try out, and I went home and I put it in my wife's essential oil diffuser because I didn't have a fogging machine at home. So it was the closest I had, and got a phone call saying that my middle child was sick. So I was bracing for impact, knowing that I was going to get sick too. Put it in her essential oil diffuser, moved it all around the house, and lo and behold, I didn't get sick. It actually took me 6 months using that protocol to get sick again, which in my situation was just phenomenal. I am a lot of a nerd, so I did the research on it, and yes, I'm full on nerd, and I embrace it and I love it. And so I did the research on it and found out that it was made in your body, and it's a chlorine derivative. It is almost identical to hypochlorite that you'd find in normal chlorine, but this is hypochlorous, and it has 2 distinct advantages. One is pH neutral, so you can spray it just about anywhere without damaging it. But really, the key ingredient in it, or the key benefit of it, is it's electrostatically neutral instead of like hypochlorite is electrostatically negative. So hypochlorite actually repels what it's trying to kill. So the reason why you have to use so much chlorine to kill stuff effectively is because it's actually repelling it. So you've got a huge dwell time and a huge concentration, neither one of which are good for you. So I've decided that's a product I want to be in on. And
you can drink this, right?
It's not recommended, but you can drink up to about a wine glass of it before.
I totally thought you could drink it. Okay.
Yeah, so you can, but it's a oxidizing agent. So your stomach can actually handle quite a bit of an oxidizing agent, and even your lungs, if you're breathing it in, the antioxidants in your body will protect you from the oxidation in it. Mm-hmm. But viruses and bacteria don't have the same antioxidants that we have, so it can kill them without killing you.
All right, so it can kill viruses.
Yes.
Let's be very clear. We are not suggesting, because I'm going to start talking about coronavirus here. We
Yes.
are not suggesting that you drink Clorox or any other thing to kill the virus in your body.
No, 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 no.
Even though you can drink this, we do not recommend it, right?
If you look at it as chlorine, it's about as much chlorine as a pool has.
As an entire pool?
Well, the water for water, a gallon of chlorine or a gallon of pool water or a gallon of this has about the same amount of chlorine.
Okay, but you can take this non-poisonous, you can drink a wine glass of it and be fine.
Yes.
You can spray it on surfaces and it will kill all viruses, right?
So yes, we don't have the EPA testing on all viruses, but we do have some really, really hard to kill viruses like H1N1, neurovirus, something that's not too applicable to most people, but we can kill the canine parvovirus in under a minute. And if you know anything about epidemiology, that is outstanding to kill in under a minute while being safe.
Okay, so all right, let's talk about some other things. So I'm learning, I think as the rest of the country is learning.
We're all trying to get in it.
You can't take a Clorox wipe and wipe with the Clorox wipe on one hand and then take the paper towel and wipe it off on the other hand, right? You've got to leave the Clorox on there to dry.
Yeah,
right?
Part of the reason why you can have chlorine in a pool at less than 5% is because it's there for so long. So when you're disinfecting, there's two main characteristics of disinfecting. One is dwell time. And if you look at the back of a Clorox wipe, you have to keep it wet for 4 minutes for it to kill the 99.9% of bacteria. The other thing is concentration. And if you've ever...
Sorry, my phone rang.
No worries, no worries.
How long do you have to leave the Clorox wipe for it to...
4 minutes. You have to keep it wet to kill that, for the protocol of Clorox to work.
And the hypochlorous...
Hypochlorous, not hydrochloric. Hydrochloric's way deadly.
Yeah, that's going to eat your counter. All right, the hypochlorous on most viruses is a minute.
On the parvovirus, it is a minute, and that is a tough one to kill. And tuberculosis is the same way.
Okay, so Clorox 4 minutes. Can't drink it. Not really good for you. Yours 1 minute. Won't kill you. You can spray it on your baby, and your baby won't die.
Correct. Will not die.
I don't know why you would want to spray your baby with it, but you can spray your baby with it.
You know, it's actually a good deodorizer as well. Most of the reason why we have odors is our body's warning to us that this place is unsafe. So we've actually evolved as a species to be able to smell bacteria. And one of the places that we use is Country Acre Kennels. And if you walk in there, it smells like old dog, urine. And so by cleaning the bacteria off and disinfecting the bacteria, that smell of that uric acid has completely gone away. And we don't smell the bacteria anymore because the bacteria is dead. They're actually one of the ones that we did an ATP test on, and ATP is really, really important for viruses and bacteria. ATP is the food source that bacteria uses to stay alive and replicate. It's basically the food on any surface. We had an ATP of almost 800 in one of the kennels, which makes sense because it's a kennel. And we took that over 800 ATP down to under 30, which is hospital grade. So we actually hospital grade disinfected a kennel.
All right. Okay. So let's talk about how you do this, because your business model was to sell the machinery that makes the hypochlorous.
Yes.
Because it's not very shelf stable, right?
Correct. Chlorine bleach is much more shelf stable. We're shelf stable for about 3 months.
3 months. Okay, so that's not bad. All right, so your business model was to sell the machinery so that like that vet or whoever it was could make this and then spray it.
Yeah.
And, okay. That's not your business model this week, right?
No, if you can imagine it, the amount of machines available for sale right now is, it's none. So
Big fat
You
goose egg.
you cannot get one of these machines for probably about another 9 months. So we have some machines, and so we decided that we can't do anything else. So why don't we use the machines that we have available to us and clean other people's offices and get rid of the ATP and the bacteria in their offices?
Awesome. All right. Now, I was watching the Today Show this morning, which I love, and I watch a lot. And they were talking about these fogging machines that you can put in offices, and it basically takes it and fogs the room and will disinfect it. How do you use the hypochlorous to disinfect? Do you put it in a fogging machine like that? Do you have a spray bottle? Like, what are you doing? How does it
So
work?
we have a fogging applicator, very similar. And the fogging applicator, it's basically a gun, and the gun shoots about 25 feet of a very, very fine mist. So one of the things that we do that people ask us about is, well, why use us? Why would you use us? We're wiping down with Clorox wipes. It's good. And the important thing to note on that, and once again, I'm a nerd, so I study people. Guys, especially when they open up a door, they turn the handle, and then they put their hand right on the face of the door and open up. And when I watch people clean with Clorox wipes, they would get the handle, but not the face of the door. So the advantage of using our system is we spray everything down: the backs of chairs, the faces of doors, the microwave front of the door, just things you would never think of the bacteria lie on. That's what we're going to get using our system. Now, that doesn't replace wiping things down with Clorox every day, but it augments it to go where no man has gone before.
Okay, but you could also theoretically walk into a hospital room with a patient in the bed and spray down the hospital room while that patient is there. And it's not.
Correct. Correct. It smells a little bit like you're at the pool. You can smell a little bit of chlorine, but it is completely fine.
Right?
What's that?
I think there are worse things.
There are worse things. In fact, actually, I love it. I mean, there's anecdotal evidence that it's actually healthy for you to breathe in the hypochlorous acid, because the mechanism that hypochlorous acid uses is much like hydroxychloroquine. It's now I'm talking right now. Got to put the asterisk on there. There is no scientific studies on that, but the methodology that hypochlorous uses outside the body is the same that hydroxychloroquine uses inside the body. So I'm not saying if you breathe this stuff in, you're going to get rid of COVID-19. But for me, I love disinfecting places because I am breathing in that hypochlorous acid.
Okay, so your business model, which was to sell the machines that produce this cleaning solution, and now because you can't get the machines, you're using your own machines to produce large quantities, I assume. Are you all going in and doing the disinfecting for people, or are you giving it to people and letting them do the disinfecting? Because
So what we're doing,
this was a whole pivot that you had to do in like an hour.
pretty much. And as you can tell, my 30-second commercial is not what it should be because we're still writing as we're going. So, but yes, what we're doing is we're going into somebody's offices. We're doing a lot of co-working spaces, although they're closed down now. This is before everything shut down.
Yeah.
But we go into co-working spaces and we clean off the spaces for the co-working spaces. We're going into restaurants. We're going into daycares and spraying down all those surfaces so that it is cleaner and it takes a little bit of the onus off of the janitorial staff to hit every single surface. Then what we're doing is we're also leaving them, if they choose to buy it, we're also leaving them with the inactivated product so that they can put it in a essential oil diffuser, so that they can put it in a spray bottle, or we have self spray bottles, so they can spray it down themselves.
Oh, I can put this in a diffuser.
Yeah.
And it
Humidifier.
a dehumidifier too?
Or a humidifier, as long as it's not a thermal humidifier, as long as it's just a sprayer.
So we're talking about the cold humidifiers, not the ones we had as children where if you put your hand in front of it, you burned your fingers.
Yeah, don't do that one for multiple reasons. Don't burn your hands. But
Hey, you know, I'm not saying I'm the brightest bulb on the tree. I may have touched the humidifier. Okay, so you put it in a humidifier or in an essential oil diffuser.
yes,
And will it cover the whole room?
depends on your humidifier. But a lot of times, if I don't have one that's very powerful, I'll also put a fan by it. Once again, if I don't have the fogging unit like I did at home, I
Yeah.
put in the essential oil diffuser and I put a little office fan behind it just to spray it around.
Okay, that's really cool. And then do you just turn it on for an hour a day, or do you just kind of leave it on constantly and it is always cleaning?
My protocol when my kids get sick is I'll put it in the essential oil diffuser and then I just move it around. And I do that pretty much while I'm home, just because it's so easy for me to get sick.
That is amazing.
It's fun.
So it's not even as if, and I'm not saying don't hire you, but it's not like, because it doesn't make sense for me to have someone come in and like spray down my house. I live by myself. Um, but to put a diffuser in my parents' kitchen and in my parents' um, bedroom, which is really where they are all the time,
Yeah,
that would make a lot of sense. Or
it
in
makes a ton of sense.
or just okay, that's fascinating. All right, now are you guys the only ones in the US that do this?
The hypochlorous, there's actually several manufacturers of hypochlorous. We, as far as I know of, we're the only ones disinfecting and sanitizing with hypochlorous.
Oh, okay, what are other people doing with it?
Those are the people that are, TCU has our on-site generation machine in their dorms, and they're using it to spray down the dorms.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of places. West Point actually has one of our essential oil, has one of our on-site generation machines,
But it's
and they're
one of
using it.
yours.
Yeah, and so they're using our previous business model. I don't know anybody who's pivoted to our new business model.
Okay, well, I really appreciate that West Point has one, because I don't know if you remember, my godson is going to be, I don't know, what do they call juniors there? He's just finishing his sophomore year. Is he a cow now? Is he going to be a cow? I don't know.
Don't make me a liar.
I don't know. But I'm
I got
very
the haircut from military. I don't have the actual military background.
okay. I'm very happy that West Point has one, because he's going to have to go back in a few weeks. So
They're very forward thinking on their sanitation. They bought one years ago and they've
really,
been using it for a long time. They're very forward thinking.
that's awesome. I love hearing that. You know, it's really interesting because I was talking to my godson and I said, okay, I haven't heard about the Army having a big outbreak. And he's like, I haven't either. And I don't know if they put an embargo on the information, but apparently they're just proactive and clean.
At least their university is.
That's great. Okay.
It is
So
very funny to talk to all the people who weren't concerned about sanitation, who are now very, very concerned about it. So
all those people that you've talked to over the past 2 years are now banging down your door going, when can we get this machine?
and I have to tell them no, like I don't have it, but we'll come to your offices.
Are you the only one in the country who can sell that machine? Or
No, no, there's several other manufacturers and
okay.
yes.
I'm just trying to learn, trying to figure it out. But you're the guy, you're my guy.
I'm your guy. I'm your guy. And you know, even if you can't buy from me, hypochlorous is such a phenomenal cleaning solution, and it kills me that chlorine bleach won the market race, and it's really just the shelf stability of chlorine bleach.
Well, and I've been thinking about this. So you know that I travel constantly. I don't think I have ever been home. I've never been grounded for this long.
Are you going stir crazy? How are you hanging in there?
I'm ready for somebody else to make my bed in a hotel room. But I think about things like, could I travel with this? Could I take a small little fits in my plastic baggie spray bottle of this and spray down my airline seat in the area around me so that I could at least be sitting on a clean surface?
Well, funny you mentioned that. We sell a 3-ounce bottle designed for just such an occasion that I keep in my car, and every time I get in or out, I clean my hands on my mustache when I get in or out of my car.
That's cool. How do we get that?
Go to riverfresh.com and buy it.
All right. I know you guys were working on a new website. How's that coming?
It's coming. It's coming. We're getting our product shots on there. So forgive the sophomoric nature of our website, but we pivoted and we made some changes, which broke part of our website, and so now we're playing whack-a-mole to try to get all those broken parts back in.
Back together? Well,
Yes.
I think that's to be expected anytime. So, like, let me guess how this happened. Coronavirus hit. All those people that you had been talking to that you said you need this machine, all of a sudden your phone starts ringing off the hook. You call the machine supplier, they're like, eh. And you're like, okay, now what? Was that kind of what had happened?
It's like you were watching me.
I know. I'm smart that way. So you guys had to figure out something really fast. So yeah, things are going to break, right?
Yeah.
You've got a great product. You got to figure out a way to help all these people that had they listened. So I've got a cousin that sells like kind of janitorial supplies on an industrial level. So he had all these schools that he had been talking to and going, I don't think you have enough soap dispensers. I don't think you have enough, like, whatever the what's the hand sanitizer things. And they're like, oh, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. This hit, his phone rang off the hook. He's like, no. When I told you to do that 9 months ago is when we needed to do that. He's like,
I wasn't lying.
Yeah, he was not lying. And you're kind of in the same situation. Like, you had this great product, and so now you're just trying to help people the best way you can.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. We're still there for our customers, just in a different way.
Yeah. Awesome. So let me guess, when they start shipping the machinery again, do you have a wait list?
We do. And to be honest, I don't even know how long that wait list is at this point.
Well, as long as you've got it, that's great. Because all of these people, just out of curiosity, if you could get the machine, how expensive is the machine? Like, how big of a business do you have to be for one of the machines to make sense, as opposed to either calling you guys and having you guys come in and with your little fog gun, or just buying it yourself and putting it in a diffuser?
So there's a couple different models that you can use. We'll do both the extremes. The small model, which is, it basically looks like a coffee pot. That takes I didn't even tell you the best part. We actually make this the same way our body makes it, and we use an electrolyte solution. It's mostly salt with a couple other minerals in there. Mm-hmm. We pour a little bit of that into water, usually 2 to 3 ounces, depending on how much we're making. And the electricity run through the generation machine activates that salt and turns it into hypochlorous. So while you're storing the base product, it is basically you're storing salt water. So you don't have to worry about the EPA coming in. If you have a chemical spill, you don't have to worry about that. If you spill it, you spilled salt water. So that machine, the coffee pot machine, which is good for daycares, small, if you have under 5,000 square feet, you're going to be using that one for the most part. That one runs about $1,000. And then you also, just $1,000. And then the industrial grade
fogging gun to go with that?
The fogging gun, if you get the large fogging gun that can shoot across the entire area, which I would recommend investing in, because the whole idea is to get the best coverage you can. The fogging gun runs you about $600.
So $600. If I could buy it today, you would totally have my credit card, because then I would do nothing but run around and like fog my family's houses.
It's very satisfying when you're doing it. I mean, just for me, it makes me feel much more secure when I smell that chlorine. And being the nerd that I am, knowing that it's not just chlorine, it's neutral chlorine. So it's not, because COVID-19 is an enveloped virus. And what that means is it has a lipid ring around the virus protecting it. And that lipid ring has a net negative electrical charge to it. So I know if I'm cleaning with chlorine, I have to use a lot more chlorine or a lot more time on chlorine, time that I usually don't have,
Yeah.
to kill the virus or to make it inactive.
Okay.
With hypochlorous, I know I can use a very, very small amount of chlorine to get the same result. So it just makes me feel so warm and fuzzy whenever I smell that.
God, you are such a geek. Okay. So warm and fuzzy. But again, you say chlorine, and I think, oh my gosh, is it going to stain my furniture? It's not, right?
I say chlorine because most people don't understand the difference between hypochlorite, which is typically chlorine, and hypochlorous. Hypochlorous can only survive on a pH scale of 6.8 to 7.2. If you get outside of that, then it starts becoming hypochlorite. So whereas chlorine bleach is very basic, it's very caustic, it's usually around 11 or 12, which will burn your skin,
Right.
discolor your couch. I've actually sprayed this directly on a silk blouse, not mine, but I sprayed it on red silk.
You and the silk blouse thing.
I looked very pretty in it, but I had to give it back. I've actually sprayed on a red silk blouse to try to get rid of the stain, and it didn't discolor the red silk blouse. Now, once again, I wouldn't recommend that. I would test an area before I did, but I've done it once and it worked and didn't discolor.
That's amazing. Wait, will it get stains out?
It can get stains out. Once again, it works through oxidation. If you know about oxidation, oxidation is very, very cool in how it works. And when we think oxidation, what's that?
Not like OxyClean?
OxyClean works through oxidation as well. Yeah, that is how OxyClean works. Now, the amount of oxidizing agents that we have is very, 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 very low compared to OxyClean, and that's for a purpose. But
my couch to bubble.
Exactly. And
counter or whatever it is.
If you put OxyClean on your skin, it will start to burn. The trick in disinfection is to get enough oxidation onto the parts that need it without going overboard. Hydrogen peroxide, if your mom ever poured hydrogen peroxide on a cut, you know how it bubbled up?
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of oxidation run wild, because there's not enough bacteria or viruses in that cut to have that energetic of reaction for it to bubble up. So what you're doing by pouring hydrogen peroxide on is you're killing bacteria, but you're also killing those cells that have come in to help heal your skin. So you've killed the bacteria by decimating everything in that area. So what you want is enough oxidation.
Like slash and burn kind of
exactly
approach.
I can kill a spider by burning down my building, but
maybe totally justified depending upon how you feel and
depending on the spider.
Yeah.
I've almost been there once. I was once outside and I saw a wolf spider the size of a dinner plate, and wow, that's a completely different story for a completely different time. Whoever wants to grab me for drinks one time, I'll tell you about the wolf spider that almost killed me.
Awesome. Okay, so 5,000 square feet or less, it's this coffee maker that all in, coffee maker in the gun, 1,600.
All in. And if you want institutional level cleaning, you can buy we plumb it into your system, so we have an automatic water source. And then that one can run anywhere from about $4,000 to $6,000 for that machine. But
not a whole lot to be able to turn a tap and get a hydrochlorous that you need.
Yes, hypochlorous. I don't want anybody to Google the wrong thing. Hypochlorous. And the beautiful part about that is, since the electrolyte that we're using is literally salt water and a couple other minerals, you can buy gallons, which makes hundreds of gallons, for $60. So you're actually saving money by not having to buy near as much chemicals.
Okay, so at some point you and I should probably talk about your pricing, because I don't think you're taking advantage.
Well, and we haven't seen the new price list out from us. Now that everybody's a whole lot more interested in it, those might be old prices. Once we get new product in, we might be facing a whole different set of pricing schedules.
Yeah, demand may have gone up, which
Yes.
price elasticity. I'm not saying price gouging, but I am saying let's have some good margins.
And you would be the person to talk to about that. You've tried and tried for years on my print shop to help me out, and I've been resistant. And
Yeah, we are still going to get a way for you to automatically charge people's credit cards.
yes,
I am going to eradicate your AR if it kills me, even though you are not a client.
I am working on that in the background. I'm working on that. Being a nerd, I'm learning coding so I can write my own program to be able to do that on the back end.
Because it's a good idea to reinvent the wheel.
That's what I do because I'm an entrepreneur and we don't like what everybody else does. If we did it, it's perfect. If somebody else did it, we could do better.
You guys in reinventing the wheel. So it was really interesting. Last week we had a guy on, the total serial entrepreneur who did in fact write his own software. He's an attorney and he wrote his own software, and he wanted to write all the financial software to go along with the practice management software. And I finally beat him down and convinced him that Intuit did in fact know more about finances than he did. I'm like, we are not qualified to write this. You are not qualified to write this. We are not doing it. But one of the things that is really admirable about him is the way he thinks through everything and really won't take something to market until he's got it nailed down. But that wasn't an option for you guys because you had a great business model. And then, so why did your supply chain drop off? Why can't you get this for 9 months? Is it coming out of Italy that shut down? Is it shipping? Is it like, why?
South Korea.
South
Korea is where it comes out of. And they've been busting some products through, but the wait list is so long on this right now that it can't possibly hope to catch up. And speaking of reinventing the wheel, we're actually looking at reinventing our own wheel for hypochlorous and doing our own. So we've got a prototyping company working on that right as we speak.
Awesome. It's always nice to own your own supply chain.
Well, I didn't realize how nice it was until
Yours broke.
And on that reinventing the wheel, one of the things that we've never been in the disinfecting business before. We don't know the laws or anything. And so it's been really interesting to work through all that. What claims can we make? What claims can't we make? Where does the EPA fit into this? We've got an EPA registration number on the process, but can we use that same EPA number for disinfecting? And turns out we can. And even just going through the CDC and trying to make sure that our process aligns with their process, that's been a whole new challenge. So in the middle of reinventing all the wheels, we have to reinvent all of our new processes and make sure that the guidelines that have been put by the state and federal governments that we're abiding by. And Governor Abbott just came out with a whole new set of guidelines yesterday. So we're reading through those and making sure that we're in accordance with those as well. So
you've hired a good attorney to help you.
Yes.
Good. And your team, what's so interesting, so I was just having a discussion with one of our team members, and we were talking about the difference between growing and scaling. And scaling growing is about growing your top line number and growing your bottom line number by the same amount, right? The scaling is growing your bottom line number regardless of the amount that your top line number grows. And to scale, it's all about process. And so here you are, you had pivoted this company. You are in, so when we look at our business, we look at the different stages. And we have one stage that's all about stabilization. And we have one stage that is more about being proactive. And then we've got one stage that's about scaling. And you are the definition of trying to stabilize. But here you are using all of those tools that are the things that will allow you to scale. Yep. That will allow you, like, you're not just saying, just get it done now. You're saying, we have to get it done now, but we have to get it done the right way so that we do that way going forward all
We hope.
the time. Theoretically.
That's the plan.
But that takes a lot of discipline.
It does, and it takes really good people around you to do it. We were trying to do this all on our own and just very quickly realized that the attorneys, the insurance companies, the web creative, to be perfectly honest with you, our website broke because I tried to do it because it needed to be done now.
You know, I had a client yell at me recently, not yell, but took me to the woodshed because I'm like, I'm fixing something on the website. He's like, you taught me a very long time ago that you can hire people to do the job for less than you could do it yourself because they know how to do it and they're faster and better. I'm like, I know, but I can do it now, this second. And shockingly, I will say, my poor video editor, he's been great. But, I texted him at 12:30 at night. I'm like, if I send you something by like 4 tomorrow afternoon, can you have it back to me by 9? And the next day, and he's like, well, 7. But, at 1 o'clock in the morning, he really wasn't that interested in talking to me. And I was shocked, right?
I mean, come on. That's when you get your best work done.
Exactly. He should have been waiting for me. Yeah, so it is hard. Like as an entrepreneur, you're like, I can do this. I can get it done. I have learned I cannot edit my own videos.
Well, and for me, it's kind of interesting to see because I feel like I've been taken back to square one. When I was first starting my business, I learned a whole lot of really important lessons. One of which being, don't do it yourself, hire it out.
Yep.
And we pivoted, and I found myself very quickly going back to, oh, I'll just get this done right now, and I'll do it myself because I can do it now. And relearning lessons that you learned a long time ago just because you're back in that situation is a very hard lesson to learn.
I know. And I am so, last week, we realized that we needed to get everyone's getting their PPP loans, right? And that they don't know how to account. They don't know how to do the accounting. And they don't know how to track this. And if we don't track it, we're not going to be able to get it forgiven. So we're talking and we're like, okay, we think there are 5 good ways to do it and whatever. And next thing you know, we were talking about sending out a video and explaining the pros and cons of the 5 different ways. And then, letting people download 3 of the 5 ways. And then the other 2 ways we're selling, which took, a video on Doodly, which I love. Which, have you seen my little hand, my drawn things? Aren't they fun? So I had to do one of those. I had to build a web page. We had to figure out how to get our website to be able to buy things on the website. We had to turn that on, all this stuff that we did. And as I'm doing it at, 11 o'clock at night, I'm like, this is not what I should be doing. Which is why I was texting my video editor at 1 a.m. But at least I don't try to do that. But it's really interesting because you get in it and you're like, I need this done. And as you're doing it, you realize, I am not the right person to do this. I should not be doing this. And yet here I go doing the thing I know I shouldn't do.
But as an entrepreneur, you get so excited by those things. In entrepreneurs, it's so fun to start something. And it's so fun to take an initiative and take it to the next level. And so even though you've learned that lesson through years and years, just you get excited about it. And I feel like I'm a puppy that just somebody said walk. I'm like, oh, walk, wait, let's go. New business venture? Yeah, I'm in. And I ended up choking myself on the leash because I'm so excited about it, when I know if I just walked at a normal pace that I would get there and enjoy it much more.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that we do as entrepreneurs, I set a random, like I decided on Tuesday that we were going to launch this product on, or maybe I decided on Monday we were going to launch it on Thursday. Yeah. We designed it on Monday. We launched it on Thursday. Could I have waited until Monday?
No, you have to do it now.
I mean, I probably could have waited until Monday, especially since we had some breakdowns in the in some of our technology. So
Yeah.
most people didn't even find out about it until Sunday afternoon. You know, we're living, we're learning. But yeah, it's hard. And that, so I'm really impressed that as you're going through this, you're looking at what does the long term look like? How do we want to do this? How do we do this the right way? And how do we do it the right way the first time? Or what we believe at this moment to be the right way? That's awesome.
Thank you.
Like, yeah,
We'll see how it comes out. The plan is there. We'll see about the execution.
All right. So if we wanted to get a coffee maker and a gun, we would email you. We would go to the website. What about that 3-ounce bottle?
We have those on the website, and we also have it's sold out right now. So just contact us on the website. No, the 3-ounce bottles are good.
Oh, okay.
The coffee maker is sold out.
Coffee maker sold.
Just leave a comment on the website, and as soon as they become available, we'll do the first come, first serve.
Awesome. And what would that website be, Chris?
Riverrefresh.com.
Riverrefresh.com.
Riverrefresh.com. It's hard to say.
That's awesome. So we said we'd do 45 minutes. So we're right about there.
Perfect timing.
I know. I'm so freakishly good at this.
You are. You're good at so many things.
I know. Isn't that kind of fun?
Yeah, it must be hard. A lot of responsibilities.
Yeah, you know, but I will wear my crown with grace. So
Hard being that good.
Okay, for all the people, like, we have known each other a long time. Hence the like kind of back and forth. But I really appreciate you doing this. And I really, once again, am so impressed at the fact that you pivoted. You didn't give up. You didn't say, well, we can't get it for 9 months, so we'll just kind of answer the phone if it rings. Like you said, what are our options? What can we do? And you went from selling the machine to actually selling the product. And you're selling the product in a number of ways, whether it's you guys coming in and doing the disinfecting or selling the pre-made product to people. Like, that's just an amazing pivot. And that,
thank you.
And that you've done this looking at the long term. So when this is all over, when either South Korea is shipping these things again, or when you guys start making them, are you going to get rid of that disinfecting business? Are you going to shut down the website?
Hopefully not. Hopefully we've got the systems in place that it's running perfectly by then, and we have a new business venture. But we'll have to see about the execution on that. I don't want to make any predictions right now.
But today it's looking like.
Today it's looking like we will. Today it's looking like we're going to keep it.
That's great. All right, Chris.
And expand it.
And expand it. That's right. Because let me guess, you're not happy to just do a couple of $100,000 a year. You want to take over the world, right?
The thoughts cross my mind.
All right.
My goal is to get rid of chlorine bleach altogether.
That's awesome. That would be. All right, hold on. One more question. All those things that are under my sink, can I get rid of all of them and use hypochlorous?
So we're actually looking at adding a surfactant to the hypochlorous and making sure that it keeps the hypochlorous effective. So once we are able to, surfactant is basically removes grease and oil. Dawn is the prototypical surfactant. So once we're able to add that, then you can replace everything you own down there with just the coffee pot.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It already works just as it is. It already works pretty darn well as cleaner as well.
I think that's just amazing. All right, Chris, thank you so much. I
Brooke,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
it. And keep us updated. Put
Yes,
update.
and I didn't know about your videos on the PPP, so I'm gonna have to go look at your doodly.
Yeah, go check. It should be in your email because I think you're on my mailing list. I'm not entirely sure. But we do have a YouTube channel, Cathedral Capital CFO.
I will
And
have to look at it.
you can go there and you can see our doodlies and you can see all kinds of stuff about the PPP and the CARES Act, and we've got all kinds
The
of stuff.
IDL and all the other acronyms that they've decided to have us be experts on all of a sudden.
And where you have done all the research on the EPA and all of that, our team has been researching the CARES Act.
Are you saying that I should use somebody who knows what they're talking about instead of trying to do it myself?
Probably should.
Wow, if I had only known that earlier.
I know. There you go, reinventing the wheel again. All right, Chris, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And this has been fabulous.
Thank you, Brooke. It's always good talking to you.
Great to talk to you.